Welcome back and thank you for staying with us here at Hot 7 TV. Opposition leader Philip J. Pierre has addressed rumors claiming that he, amongst other members of the opposition, will inevitably be detained by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for their participation in a Black Lives Matter protest which was not approved by law enforcement.
During a Monday morning press conference, leader of the St. Lucia Labour Party, Philip J. Pierre, told reporters that to his understanding, he will be arrested for taking part in Friday's Black Lives Matter rally.
And I was there, and I'm sure I'm one of the persons that Mr. Shari will be able to identify. And the fact that Mr. Shari has made this statement and put it in the public domain, it almost sounds threatening. And further, there's been rumors have been circulating throughout, and in St. Lucia, you know, there is no smoke without fire in many cases. And these rumors, I'm saying, in fact, have been warned by people in law enforcement that is going to happen.
Pierre says in the event that he is arrested, he and other members of the SLP will follow regular legal procedures when addressing the matter.
Yes, I will allow myself to be arrested. I will obey the laws of the country. I will seek legal representation, and the people will have the final say.
Rumors surrounding a pending arrest began to circulate following an indication by the Assistant Commissioner of Police that persons will be facing consequences for disregarding the law and attending a protest without the approval of law enforcement. However, he did make it clear that there was no concrete way of dealing with the matter as yet, and indicated that the force will ensure that all options at their disposal are looked into. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
Leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, in a press conference on Monday, made a call to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to remain impartial, particularly in political issues. He asked for sides not to be taken, especially when on duty. The call comes after various attempts have been made to acquire permission to have peaceful protests in St. Lucia denied under the guise of the current state of emergency.
St. Lucia is under an extended state of emergency, and as such, mass gatherings are prohibited. However, over the past week, many different groups have staged protests for various reasons, whether it's in support of the Black Lives Matter movement or just to express their dissatisfaction with government policies imposed or broken, as well as for political reasons. During many of these protests, police permission was either denied or not sought. As a result, there has been lots of contention about the stifling of rights and with the lack of democracy in St. Lucia. Many persons have made the comparisons between permission having to be sought from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force for a peaceful Black Lives Matter protest on Friday and a peaceful Round the Island motorcade on Sunday, and the ministers of government being given police escort last week during what can be said were election campaigns. Leader of the opposition, Philip J. Pierre, has called on the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to not be selective with the enforcement of laws.
I want to advise the men and women of the St. Lucia Police Force not to allow themselves to be used against their fellow brothers and sisters by self-serving politicians. They are to serve the people, not individuals or power-hungry politicians.
Pierre indicated that the general public has the constitutional right to protest or voice their dissatisfaction with the government, especially when their rights are being trampled or their voices are not being listened to.
The Prime Minister himself had already openly flouted the regulations of the state of emergency through his canvassing in various communities the week before, where he did not wear masks and did not observe social distancing in the crowds with whom he mingled. So he cannot break the laws and expect the citizens to observe them. This is not leadership, it is dictatorship.
The acting police commissioner is to address the nation on Tuesday, 16th June, with regard to the many activities that have taken place during the past 2 weeks. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzague.
Opposition leader Philip J. Pierre has questioned the caliber of weapons seen in the possession of police officers at an unlawful protest staged on June 14th. He says such a display of force was not necessary at such an activity.
It was necessary for innocent citizens to face police armed in fatigues and submachine guns aimed at people. And I'm happy that the policemen who had these weapons did not use them. Do you think that was necessary? There was no threat to property. There was no threat to anybody. But policemen armed with machine guns, a face-off with people with machine guns. Now, if something happened and the people had surged forward, would there be a massacre? And this is what you must do. And actually, this is not a political matter, you know. I think all people say it's politics and Labour Party. It's not political. It's a St. Lucian matter.
Pierre underscores that there have been no reports of violence or destructive behavior at the protest. He says scare tactics ought to be saved for criminals. Still on the topic, members of the public have aired their views on an unlawful protest which was staged as a Round the Island rally on June 14.
Today on the streets of Castries, members of the public share their views on actions taken by the Royal St. Lucia Police Force during a June 14th protest.
It live, but I got a few clips of it. I just want to ask a few questions before I answer. Is it okay for our head of command or chief of command to say something and then he's doing something else? Why? Because the clip have been played and it's been said that why you could actually stand up in the house, you know, and say to us that we're supposed to follow protocol. Because I'm following protocol, I could tell you. Because I had to go to the ministry to get the protocols, to get the okay for me to open. While if it's for me and you, and why it's not for him, this is why people sometimes could get out of hand, because it has to come from the helm. And people have to be very, very careful, because if you're telling me yesterday there are so many people on the beach, crowds on the beach, you know, and then the same, you know, other crowds will put up together and then for them to protest or do a Round the Island in operation of, you know, whatever they say, remove chassis. I mean, it's up to them. Actually, it's our rights. But what I'm saying, I wasn't part of it. But on the beach, there had so many people. And also, what I'm saying is, it is not correct to do so, okay? But why is it okay for the Prime Minister to be in at least in different constituencies? Because you saw the clip when he came by the young lady, and the young lady was like uncomfortable, and she had to move away. You know, there's questions to ask. So even before sometimes we answer the questions, we need to also ask questions. We could also ask questions, you know, pertaining to what's going on, because it's uncertain times, and if everybody wants us to understand what is going on, which is not a bad thing, because it's also for our detrimental of our health and our people. But the fact is that if you are the father of the nation, when I say father, meaning that you are the one in charge. So you need to take example from yourself before you send it out.
Yeah, well, actually, I heard the incident happen. I wasn't on the trip, but I heard about it and I was displeased. Because if they give us authority for us to leave Castries with all those people on board, why should they stop us at the cul-de-sac? That's where they stop. Why should they stop them, you know? Because they give us the okay to go there. So what is the problem, you know, man? I don't know exactly what took place. But to me, if they give us authority to leave Castries, they shouldn't stop us.
Well, I myself wasn't present, actually. It's just that somebody sent it for me on my phone. And what I gathered this morning is like, they don't hunt. They did not do anything that was illegal as such as far as I gather. But I guess the police that arrest them, they're supposed to have the supervisor. Somebody advised them to do so. So that's, all in all, that's what I gathered from that, actually, because what I was told, what I thought, actually, I thought they had did something wrong, but at the end, it wasn't nothing wrong. It's just that the police were supervised to do something, and the police did the work.
The police was doing the work, you know. It was an obligation to do the work, but I don't think they were serious, you know, about that. You know, black people against black people. I don't think the police will want black people to fight against black people. You understand? Remember, we are black people and the police is black. So I don't think the police will want to fight with black people. You understand? But they do the work. They do the work as they were asked to do, you know. But I think they have a white master behind them.
They should have not be so congested in one another if we're talking about 6 feet away from each other. We're not thinking of tomorrow. That virus might just come back if we go ahead having things like that. People, let's just wait, let's cool out. We have enough time for these kind of things. That's all I can think about it. I'm not giving nobody right, nobody wrong, but again, the police say no, no. That's how I know I was raised. Police say no is no. Why do it? Why commit a big thing and then cause things like that? Police say no, no. That's how I think.
And that's what you had to say. For Hot 7 TV, I am Jacka Wooding. Now back to you, Rochelle.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. We'll be right back.